What's up, guys? Today we were picking a bracket on March Madness. These are all my picks that I think is going to happen. I've done a lot of research. So if you want to copy this, you can. Or if you just want to look at it to see what I picked, that's okay too. Because I'm not a professional, but I know a little bit. Alright, let's start off. Duke versus Siena. This one's pretty easy. Ohio State, TCU. I think this is going to be a pretty close game, but I do have Ohio State winning this one. St. John, Northern Iowa. Definitely St. John's for this. Kansas, California Baptist. Yep, Kansas. Louisville, South Florida. This is where I'm going to have an upset. I know a lot of people have an upset for this one, and I do think it's going to happen. I mean, South Florida plays really quick, and it might be a little too much for Louisville, so... Next, we have Michigan State versus North Dakota State. We definitely have Michigan State for that one. UCLA versus UCF. UCLA, I think, is going far. Connecticut versus Furman. Definitely Connecticut. Duke versus Ohio State. Duke, definitely. That one actually might be close, though. Ohio State, Duke might be close. Who knows? St. John's, Kansas. Definitely St. John's for this one. St. John's is definitely going to give Kansas a run for their money. I mean, like... St. John, just like, they can apply really good pressure, and I think Kansas can handle that. And I do think St. John's going to win this one. South Florida, Michigan State. South Florida, they're coming off hot, and I do think this is going to be a close game, but in the end, I do have Michigan State winning. UCLA, Connecticut. Connecticut, my opinion, the worst 2 seed versus UCLA. UCLA is going to come off, they really want it, and they're going to get it. They're going to beat Connecticut. Duke versus St. John. This one, another really close one. St. John giving Duke a run for their money, but Duke does win in the end because Cameron Bruiser does not lose. So we got Duke. Now we got UCLA versus Michigan State. Another really close matchup here, but this time I do have Michigan State pulling it off. I do think Michigan State's going to win that. And then Duke versus Michigan State. I do have Duke because, you know, like I said before, Cameron Bruiser does not lose. All right, next side. We have Arizona versus LIU, Brooklyn. I mean, this one's pretty obvious. I'm going to go LIU. I'm just kidding, Arizona. Villanova versus Utah State. I think Utah State's a little underrated. I'm going to go Utah State here. Wisconsin, High Point. Close game. I do think High Point has a chance of winning in. If you're going to pick an upset, definitely pick High Point for one of them, but I'm going to pick Wisconsin because I just think that they're just like that much better. Next, we got Arkansas and Hawaii, definitely Arkansas. BYU, Texas, definitely BYU. DeBontis is going to cook this tournament. Next, we got Gonzaga versus Kansas State. Gonzaga with this one. Miami versus Missouri, Miami. Purdue versus Queens. Purdue is going far. Let's go Purdue. Arizona versus Utah State. This one's not even close. Wisconsin versus Arkansas. Definitely have Arkansas for this one. BYU versus Gonzaga. DeBontis has a crazy game and wins this. Purdue versus Miami. This is definitely going to be 16-point game. Purdue wins. Calling me out on that one. Arizona, Arkansas. Definitely Arizona. BYU, Purdue. I'm going to get Purdue. Then Arizona versus Purdue. Who's going to win? Elite 8. We're going with Arizona. Okay, Florida versus... Oh, God. Yeah, this one's not close. Florida. Clemson versus Iowa. I'm going to go Iowa. Vanderbilt, McNeese. It's a close game, but McNeese pulls up the upset. Nebraska versus Troy. Another close one, but Nebraska just pulled this one up. North Carolina versus VCU. North Carolina missing one of their best players, if not... Or actually, if not, is their best player out. And I do think they're going to struggle a lot without him. So, I might go VCU, but in the end, I do see North Carolina pulling it off. I mean, I just don't see VCU beating North Carolina. Illinois versus Pennsylvania. Definitely Illinois in that one. St. Mary's and Texas A&M. I got St. Mary's. Houston versus Idaho. I almost said Idaho here, man. But Houston. Florida versus Iowa. Let's go Florida there, yeah. Nebraska versus McNeese. We do have Nebraska winning that. North Carolina and Illinois. Illinois is going to sweep by that one. St. Mary's and Houston. Houston's winning that. Florida and Nebraska. Yeah, we do have Florida there. Houston, Illinois, and let's get with Illinois for that one. Florida vs. Illinois, and Florida absolutely fumbles, and Illinois wins that one. Yep, you heard me. Florida fumbles. Michigan and Howard. So the Howard game of how they almost lost, but you know they did pull off the W. But I'm still going to pick Michigan. Howard's not that good. Georgia versus St. Louis. This one is gonna be like one of the closest of the tournaments. I can see either team winning here, but they are both very different teams in different ways. But I do have Georgia winning that. Akron and Texas Tech. This one is close. This one might be the closest of the tournament. And we do have Akron winning that though. For the upset. Then we have Alabama, and I don't even know that is, but I know Alabama is going to beat them. Miami, Ohio, or SMU, which I think they are playing, but I do have Tennessee winning that no matter what happens. I don't see any of those teams beating Tennessee. Next, we got Wright State or Virginia. We do have Virginia. Kentucky and Santa Clara. We do have Santa Clara winning that one. Iowa State and Tennessee State. Iowa State with that one. Knockdown shooters. Michigan, Georgia. We do have Michigan. Akron, Alabama. Alabama for that one. Tennessee, Virginia. Close game, but Virginia does win. Santa Clara and Iowa State. Iowa State goes knockdown shooting this game and wins. Michigan and Alabama. Very close game. Closer than everyone expected. But in the end, Michigan pulls off the W. And then now we got Virginia and Iowa State. I do have Iowa State for this one. And then we got Iowa State and Michigan coming off, but they lose to Iowa State. Now we are in the Final Four. We do have Duke versus Illinois. We do have Duke winning this one. Then we got Arizona versus Iowa State. Very close game, by the way, but I do have Arizona. The very last game, Arizona versus Duke. And a game-winning shot from the corner. Arizona wins. And that's my bracket. And then also we're going to predict the final score. We're going to go 67 to 65. Very close game. Game-winning 3 by Arizona. I'm calling it. Let me know when I'm right about this whole bracket and I get a perfect bracket. Just know I had it from the beginning. Save. Anyways, if you enjoyed this video, you can always copy my bracket, but just letting you know, my bracket might not be like that good. But I do think my bracket isn't that bad. But just when I get a perfect bracket, just thank me for that. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the video. See you.